Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cosmet Gaming with me, Christopher. This is Trolley Problem Incorporated, a game centered around the trolley problem. And for those of you who don't know what the trolley problem is, it's quite simple. You have a trolley or a train car going down a track. At the end of that track, or along that track, there is a group of 5 people. They are tied to the track, and if the trolley hits them, they will die. Now, on the track there is a what's that called in English? I don't know. A place where you can change tracks, basically. And there's a lever. On the other track, there's only one person tied to the tracks. Now, pulling the lever will change the direction of the trolley and only kill the one person. And it is posed as a question to you. What do you do? And indeed, that is a question that has been answered and debated a lot, let's just say. Now, from me personally, I would say that I try to take a pragmatic, fairly logical approach to these things, but I do try to be a little bit more philosophical at times. So I might do something you possibly don't necessarily expect me to do. We shall see. I think that the making a video of this is sort of interesting because you get to see a little bit of how I think about these things. Now, I'm not going to say that I am completely set in my ideas about these things. I'm absolutely very open to other viewpoints, so to speak. But this game is quite interesting. I've seen a little bit of it, so I know a little bit about what's gonna come. It is, however, gonna start very simple, and it's also a bit of a, I wouldn't call it a story, but you'll see what I mean when we start of a new game.
Actions speak louder than words. Welcome to Trolley Problem Inc., founded to help people travel safely across the nation. All our employees must show 3 core values: responsibility, integrity, and respect. With that in mind, let's start your training.
Lovely, and yes indeed, it is all very narrated. So, let's continue with the
There's a
first.
runaway trolley barreling down the railway tracks. On the tracks are 5 people unable to move. You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will switch to a different set of tracks. However, you notice there is a person on the other track. What do you do?
And here's the thing, I'm gonna do nothing. Because it's not my trolley. It's not my track.
So
I did not put these people in this position. If I choose to pull the lever, I'm actually sentencing this person to die. So I'm actually just gonna do nothing. I can probably expand on that later. Click do nothing. And here comes the X-marked train and people are just dead.
Usually we don't expect candidates to let 5 people die on their first day. But we'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Just think a little more about getting involved next time.
Alright, so let's have a bit of a chat. So, about this. And yeah, you get this this little total. This is gonna increase. And apparently I agree with 28%, roughly. There's also some person or thing called red grace, or reed grace, I don't know. Apparently we did not agree with whoever that is. Now here's the thing. So, it is easy to say, from a very pragmatic, logical viewpoint, that you should pull the lever, because it's preferable that one person die instead of 5 people. But here's the point, and this is what I try to say really quickly, because you are on a timer. That is that I did not set up this thing. I have not caused 5 people to die. That was not my doing. However, had I pulled the lever, I would have caused one person to die. That would have been on me. I would have been the root cause of that person dying. I would have been, if nothing else, a murderer, if you would. Had I just let the 5 people die without doing nothing, I would not have been a murderer. It would have been really sad, and someone standing looking at me might have said, "Why didn't you pull the lever?" Well, again, it wasn't actually something I should have done, I think. I mean, here's the thing. I've been thinking a bit about this. I've read, blah, 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 watched on YouTube, you know, that source of information of everything true, etc., etc. about this. And one of the things you can do when thinking about this is you can sort of extrapolate the thing. What if it was 5 million people and 1 million people? Would you pull the lever to kill 1 million people just to save the 4 million? Some people might not have, you know. But anyway, so that's sort of a very quick, very quick take on this little problem. Let's see what else they've got.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sounds like a good thing.
This test will focus on the first principle, responsibility. Here's Polly. She's 5 years old. While she loves to play in the sand with her dolls, she dreams of looking after the world. Polly's destiny is to grow up to be a great doctor. More of us should take a leaf out of her book.
And now we're getting into some interesting bits and pieces, because do you think that they are gonna put her as the one person that might die? Most likely yes. Now, one thing that this game does, and doesn't do necessarily well, because it makes it a little bit, let's just say, iffy to sort of answer the question, which is that it's her destiny to grow up to be a great doctor. How on earth do you know that? How could I base anything upon the assumption that her destiny is to grow up to be a doctor? Had I had perfect knowledge and knew that she would become a great doctor, then I might have had something to say about it, but as it is right now, it's just a 5-year-old girl. Oh well, let's see what happens.
A trolley is heading towards another 5 people. You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will derail and descend down a hill heading for the park's sandpit. You notice that Polly is in the sandpit, sculpting her dream hospital. What do you do?
Well, this is, of course, when it gets a little bit interesting, because now we have a face on the one person.
Are you not saving them just because they aren't as cute as Polly?
I'm gonna do nothing again. Well, doesn't matter if I click this, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. Because again, if I pull the lever, I absolutely will kill Polly. I will be responsible for her death. It doesn't actually matter that that she might grow up to be a brilliant doctor or anything like that. It's, again, the same principle as before.
That is an odd take on being responsible. The dictionary definition: to be the primary cause of something and so able to be blamed or credited for it. Are you to blame for those 5 deaths?
Aha! There you go. No, I'm not. I am not the primary cause of that. The trolley was. I did not put the trolley in motion. I did not lay down the tracks, and I absolutely did not put those 5 people on the tracks. I am not the primary cause. Absolutely not at all. Had I pulled the lever, I would have been the primary cause for little Polly's death. So there you go. So on this occasion, for some reason, they changed their minds, and that sort of paints the picture. That just because you know who one of those people is, suddenly you take a different stance. And that's not really sort of persistent. It's not consistent, is what I want to say. That's not consistent with what you did earlier.
The end justifies the means. The key to this test is integrity. This is Tyrone. He is a 30-year-old secretary at a law firm who enjoys binge-watching crime shows. Tyrone is a very large man. You don't really know anything else about him, apart from the fact that he has a severe phobia of trains.
Let's put him on a train track. Yeah, so this is actually immediately goes into one thing that's, I don't know exactly how popular, I'll say popular, but common it is in philosophical questionings, which is the fact that he's a large man. That should not really matter whatsoever, but oddly enough it actually does. So that's a bit weird.
Now we are upping the ante. You are on a bridge with Tyrone, watching a trolley speeding towards 5 people again. You can only stop it by deliberately pushing Tyrone off the bridge, blocking its path. Do you push Tyrone off the bridge, or let the train hit 5 people?
And again, it's the exact same thing. And this is...
A million people are starving in the world.
What does that have to do with anything? But yeah, this is where it sort of gets interesting, because now all of a sudden we are doing something very, very deliberate and might actually kill someone that we're standing right next by to. How is that different from the lever? How is that different from the lever?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've just seen an ambulance arrive. I believe Tyrone has just had a heart attack due to the stress of it all.
Again, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. I could not have known that. I won't push a person off a bridge in order to save people, that therefore being very, very much the cause of that killing that person. If you go down that road, what's the difference of you pushing that person and pushing yourself, so to speak? Just throw yourself off the bridge and stop the train. Where's the difference? Why would you kill someone else to do it? Why not kill yourself? Difficult questions.
A cat has 9 lives. Now for the final core value, respect. It seems we've run out of resources to continue your testing. I'm going to need you to go and grab some mannequins. You will need to take the next trolley, so don't get distracted by that dog. The trolley leaves in 1 minute.
And now we're getting into the question about animals. Because of course animals, they are not the same as people. Mostly. For some people, they might be, but for the most part, you could argue that they are not.
There is a dying dog down on the tracks. No trolleys will use that line today, so the dog will not be hit. You're in a rush. Do you kill the dog, putting it out of its misery, or leave it to die, cold and alone?
Now this comes down to personal preference. I have a problem with any animal. Doesn't matter if it's a dog or a bird or anything.
Don't listen to the yelps.
I have a problem with taking care of dead animals or dying animals. I could not do it. I could really not do it. I am slightly too sensitive on this matter, as a matter of fact. Doesn't have anything to do with, again, it being a dog or anything like that. It's just, I cannot walk up to a reindeer or anything like that, lying at the roadside.
When you respect something, you're meant to care about its feelings and wishes. Instead, you just left it there to die.
And, well, I mean, chose to save the dog? How do you save the dog? Could I have saved the dog? I don't exactly know how I would have saved the dog if it was dying. Anyway, I mean, I might have screwed that one up a little bit. But yeah, as I said, this just comes down to personal preference. If I saw a wild animal, doesn't matter which animal it is, lying by the road, I could as little help that animal to die, because I will say, I am a bit squeamish about stuff like that. So, there you go. I now have a dead dog on my total. Lovely.
If you play with fire, you'll get burned. Oh, great. I've just heard those kids are back. They keep sneaking down onto the tracks. With all the training from this week, you should be able to decide a straightforward outcome for these reprobates. Just remember, respect, responsibility, and integrity.
Now, I don't exactly know what's going to be the thing here. We have something about trespassing. What do we have to decide?
5 trespassers have snuck down onto the trolley line even though signs warn them of the dangers. The trolley is currently heading for a co-worker. Do you let your co-worker die or sacrifice the delinquents?
Now we're getting into some serious questioning, because here's the point. My co-worker and I share something. I don't share anything with the trespassers, so from a very personal viewpoint, I probably would kill the trespassers on this occasion.
You value criminals.
Possibly yes. Possibly I would. Tricky one, but yes. Because here's the thing, yes. When you have, oh, there we go. Apparently I have an achievement. I've killed a child. Lovely.
You killed 5 kids. All right then. I guess your results for the first week are in. I'll run these up the flagpole and see what the suits upstairs think.
But yes, this is now getting into the point where I mean, little 5-year-old Polly, not a problem. I don't know 5-year-old Polly, I have no idea who that is. But a coworker, most likely I have some sort of emotional connection. It doesn't have to be anything deep. I mean, I can just go to the coworkers that I have. Obviously, I would have saved them before saving random people that I don't know. I don't know exactly how many people would need to be killed for me to change my mind, but yeah, now we're getting into the very subjective morality, I suppose. And apparently, yes, I do. I am in agreement, apparently, with a lot of people on that, so there you go.
Dear Sir or Madam, we have been following your exemplar practice this week at Trolley Problem Inc. and would like to thank you for your hard work, especially when some challenging decisions had to be made. We would like to invite you to take employment at the Trolley Health Corporation, THC. This is a prestigious position and was created to help keep the public safe through all walks of life.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's hope I don't get to go into situations like this for real. That would be bad.
The best laid plans go astray. It looks like you've impressed someone upstairs with last week's answers. You've been transferred to the Trolley Health Corporation, THC. THC is stoic, focusing more on justice, temperance, courage, and wisdom. We'll start with justice.
So now we're moving away from specifically the choice of 1 or 5 people or a dead dog or stuff like that. Now we're getting into, I think, slightly larger questions.
Today, you'll be in A&E. A young male has come in from a car accident and urgently needs a heart transplant. There's only one in the hospital, and this heart is scheduled to be given to an elderly man waiting upstairs. He will surely die without it. Who should get the heart?
Now on this occasion I will go with the young person. Doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter why they are there. An elderly man is an elderly man, and I think that young people ultimately should get the benefit here, and they are very much indeed in need of it.
You made an excellent choice. Well done. The elderly man deserved that heart much more. Oh, wait. Did you save the young guy? Oh.
So that is something that, I mean, it's a tricky question in some cases, because why should an elderly person, no matter who they are, not be promoted, so to speak, above a younger person? It's a tricky question, I will say that. However, it doesn't really matter who it is. I still think that emergency situation such as the person who was in a car accident, that feels more urgent. I mean, we don't know that the old man would die. This is again something that the game does a little bit badly. I mean, sure, someone who needs a heart transplant surely will die at some point, possibly from heart failure, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna die now. Just because there's only one heart now doesn't mean that they're gonna die immediately if they don't get it. So yeah, slightly simplistic way of looking at it from the game's perspective, I think.
You can't win them all. You're late. The hospital is rammed. Every staff member has their hands full, so you're going to have to go out on the ward and help the sick, gross, decaying people. Remember, temperance. Restrain yourself and think it through.
I like how they toss in the gross there. Just because they're sick and decaying doesn't mean they're gross. Bloody hell.
A patient has begged to be euthanized. Euthanasia is currently illegal. You will have to be the one who gives the lethal dose. You will need to look into their eyes and end their life. What do you do?
Euthanize, 100%. Not even gonna question it. Euthanization should be legal everywhere all the time. And, well, okay, fine, it does need to come with regulations, etc., but there's absolutely no reason why people shouldn't be able to end their life if they chose to.
Oh, wow. You actually did it. I thought you would have learned not to kill people by now.
On this occasion, I do think it's different, by the way, from the trolley problem, because here we have someone who wants to die, who presumably has made a decision from some sort of reason, or from some sort of a cause from, I suppose, illness, etc., etc. Euthanization should be legal everywhere, and as I said, of course, it needs to be regulated. There cannot be any sort of qualms or anything. Not qualms. What am I talking about? Any sort of misunderstandings or anything like that. The person wanting to die should definitely be of their full capacity, so to speak, to make that decision. Cannot be decided by someone else, etc., etc. Of course, that needs to be in place, but if someone wants to end their life, why would anyone be in their way? Our societies, basically everywhere on Earth, takes life a little bit... I was about to say too seriously, but what I'm saying is that we value life a little bit too much, to the point where we don't even allow people to end their own lives. We basically tell them you have to be miserable until you die from any other cause than you deciding it for yourself. And I think that that's wrong. If someone wants to die and they are very, very clear in their head about it, they should absolutely be able to do so. That is very much my contention, so to speak. I get a chest. Well, isn't that lovely? I used syringe. Lovely. I don't know if I wanted that.
Be slow in choosing, but slower in changing. The last few days have been tough. It was only a week ago you were on the trolleys. Today should be easier. You have a choice to make which some people would see as a good problem to have. It's just going to take courage.
All right, let's see what it is.
You have 5 patients. Each needs a different organ, but no organs are available. A healthy young traveller comes in for a routine checkup. Their organs are compatible with all 5 dying patients. Do you kill the tourist and use their organs to save the 5 in desperate need? That's 1 life for 5.
I mean, it's slightly the same as the trolley problem. If we don't do anything, they might die, but then again, if we choose to kill the tourist, we have we have indeed taken someone's life. And that is not really a moral thing to do. Sure, it's very sad that 5 people will die because they needed organs, but we can't kill someone just to get them.
You let 5 people die today. You probably should have looked into their backgrounds. Looks like one was researching into improving vaccines. Hopefully that won't be an issue down the road.
And again, the game does a little bit of a weird thing, saying that looking into backgrounds should matter. So just because someone is slightly important or possibly important, we don't even know that the research is going anywhere. But even if they're slightly important, does that mean that we can just kill people and harvest their organs? That's not really a moral argument at all, is it? Also, by the way, yeah, the syringe is one of those things. Apparently I can get some stuff. Would assume that that's a heart. That's a book. That's a bar of soap. That's someone exploding their brains out or their mind. That's I don't know what that is. Another bar of soap. All right, let's move on.
You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. You have been promoted yet again. You now run the hospital. You've been asked to roll out a new vaccine in Central City. This vaccine will stop a large number of children from becoming severely ill, but you'll need to deal with their parents. We need your words of wisdom.
We'll see exactly what the game does with this, but I'll say this, and this is very, very relevant today. Of course people should vaccinate. That's 100% sure, and true, and good. I mean, just vaccinate. Don't vaccinate, basically. How many don'ts did I say there? I don't know, but anyway. However, even if I say that, I still believe that people should always be free to make choices about their own body. We could force vaccinations, but that would be basically taking out the autonomy of people. People have a right to their own body. They have a right to decide what goes in and out of their body. Well, maybe not so much out. You probably can't decide that, but definitely what's going into their bodies. And if you are, again, at your full wits and you don't want to be vaccinated, that is something that you should be allowed to do. Alright, let's see what they have for us.
Do you start a mandatory vaccination program among children to stop this endemic? Slight problem. Clinical trial data suggest the vaccine will make 1 in 5 children severely ill, much worse than the virus itself.
So this actually, my decision to don't vaccinate has absolutely nothing to do with a possible severity of the vaccine. It has to do with what I just said.
Anti-vaxxer.
Absolutely not, but I don't think that mandating vaccines is a good thing. More better than to do
How did you answer the trolley?
information campaigns, etc., etc. That is way, way better.
Well, you've definitely made a name for yourself. Next, you'll be telling me you believe in healing crystals, coloured auras, and ghosts.
Absolutely not, but that did not really follow. Well, of course, we have some ill children. That's very, very sad. They could have become not ill if we would have informed them about what to do if they don't want to get vaccinated. Well, I mean, I don't exactly know what the actual illness was on this occasion. Maybe that was not a possibility. But the game also didn't really tell us, you know, those specifics.
Beggars can't be choosers. Your hospital is getting noticed. You're now going to have to make some big decisions. They will affect a lot of people. While choosing, always keep in mind justice, temperance, courage, and wisdom. The people need you to be stoic.
So now we're getting into the pills and probably clinical trials, etc., etc. The placebo problem.
Will you try to develop breakthrough medicines for the endemic? While testing, placebos will be given to thousands of ill patients. Without proper treatment, some will die today in the hope you could make a breakthrough tomorrow. Do you start the research or continue treating patients as usual?
I mean, if there is a...
The right thing?
Shut up.
New medicines anyway.
If there is a situation where people actually die if they don't get treatment, don't do placebos. That's extremely evil. No. We're absolutely treating patients as normal.
Treating the patients is a smart move. Let's just let someone else develop the new medicines. I mean, I'm sure someone will want to at some point.
I'm pretty sure you can do tests and etc. without having to do placebos on people who might actually die. Again, that's pretty damn evil.
Dear insert_name. Congratulations. This letter is to certify that I have examined your work and believe you to be a perfect fit to fill the open position here in our Artificial Intelligence Division. In this role, you will help to develop the next generation of driverless cars. The future is upon us.
Now this is a bit interesting and also a bit relevant with Tesla's highly questionable affairs with their driverless cars. Alright, let's see what this is.
Familiarity breeds contempt. Well, la-di-da, another promotion. You're now in charge of a private self-driving automotive division, SAD. First things first, your artificial intelligence needs some direction.
I like how it's sad. Very, very sad indeed.
A self-driving car is travelling along a single-lane mountain road and is fast approaching a narrow tunnel. The car has 2 passengers. A child runs across the road but trips, blocking the tunnel entrance. Should the AI car hit and kill the child, or swerve off the cliff, killing both passengers?
That is a really tricky question, and it's similar to a problem that I have talked about myself sometimes. On this occasion, I do believe that killing the child is actually correct. Because again, killing the passengers doesn't necessarily feel correct. I'm not entirely sure that I can motivate this, however.
There is a bigger issue here. How does the computer know that something in the road is human? Do we have good enough data sets? Currently, a lot of AI only recognizes white men.
That's very bad. And, well, I mean, having computers learn what is human is probably not the worst thing. Now, okay, so let's talk a little bit about that specific problem, which is that I've talked about this before, but that doesn't actually have to be a driverless car. It can just be a car. You are in a car with your friend or relative or whatever, your spouse. You're driving down, as this is a mountain road where you can't really swerve or anything, and out of the blue comes someone. Doesn't even have to be a child. Should you just run the car out of the road and kill both of you, most likely, or should you just sadly run over whatever it is that is in your way? I mean, you killed someone, and the point is you'd be killing someone either way, so you're basically screwed no matter what you do. So, I mean, here's the thing. You could probably hit someone on the road without killing them if you're good enough, but, you know, that's not point or other part of the problem at this point. That is a tricky one, I think. Very, very tricky one.
Necessity is the mother of invention. Ooh, someone's in trouble. The investors didn't like your last answer. They're also pissed because you brought up the dataset thing. This AI stuff is hard. I'm rooting for you this time.
Hey, I didn't bring up the dataset thing, you did. Bloody hell, that was not on me. Alright, let's see what we have to do.
You need to choose how you want to carry on developing the car's AI. Do you want to focus on a model that would always save as many lives as possible in an accident, or a system that would save our passengers at any cost?
That is also a really tricky question, because how many people are we talking about? I mean, obviously an AI should at most save people, obviously. I mean, it's very sad if a passenger dies, absolutely. But if we're talking like a bust of people, of course the car is going to verve out of the way for those. So, yeah, we're going for saving the most on this occasion.
I will say it again. Current datasets discriminate against minorities and women. How can it work this out if it doesn't deem black women to be people?
Well, that wasn't really at all what we were talking about, but sure. Let's see what else we've got.
Honesty is the best policy. The technology these cars have in them is amazing. We know where everyone is at all times. Passengers just have to use an app to call them, and the closest one will be there in minutes. You can even make small talk with the AI while travelling. It's always listening.
Well, that's nice. I am definitely looking forward to that.
A man is on trial. Police believe he committed murder. Allegedly, the AI's mic recorded a private conversation where the man confesses. Users don't know it's always recording. The defendant has denied access to their files. Do you bypass security and invade their privacy?
Of course, we are not going to invade the privacy, or privacy, or whatever the hell they said. No. We are respecting privacy. That comes always first in situations such as this one.
I have a feeling the investors upstairs will be happy with this. The more the world values privacy, the more they can justify hiding their taxes.
Absolutely, but not, again, really what we were talking about. I'm not entirely sure how you hide your taxes with a driverless car. Not really. And also saved murderers. Yes, I have saved a murderer. Good job. Good job, me.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So the company has moved into delivery services now. They move pretty quick round here. Sounds like they've got some pretty important cargo. Good luck with the new workload.
Are we sending something to the moon? No, that's probably not the moon, now that I think about it. That's probably Earth, because moon doesn't have
One
poles.
of your cars has no passengers, but is carrying an irreplaceable prototype with the potential to end global warming. Fast approaching a narrow tunnel, once again a child runs across the road but trips. Should your AI kill the child or swerve off the cliff, losing the prototype?
If there are no humans involved, obviously we're saving the child. 100%.
Just not this one.
Yes, we are. If there's no humans involved, absolutely we're sending the thing flying. Definitely.
Global warming will lead to more than 250,000 deaths each year and force 100 million people from their homes. Do you know any therapists who specialize in survivor's guilt?
And this is again something that the game does, which, I mean, fine, it's a game, it's trying to be a little bit fun. But that's possible solution. Was that the only copy of it? Was that the only way that we could have gotten it? Probably not. Probably no one would have done that. Probably the prototype can be created again. So no, that number of 5 million people, that's probably not entirely true.
What goes around comes around. Well, this is embarrassing. We need some backup over at Trolley Problem, Inc. Tommy, Tyrone's rotund twin, is a very large villain. I think that dead dog may have belonged to him. Maybe that's why he's here? Why didn't you save the dog again?
Ooh, this might actually be different if you had saved the dog. That's fun. Alright, again, size doesn't matter. Size does not matter.
Tommy has lured 5 people onto the track. They'll never be able to get out of the way in time. He is standing up on the bridge watching. If you push him in front of the trolley, it will stop. Or you can stay out of this and let the police handle it. Ideally, he needs medical help.
Again, oh, okay, so now the game is doing some weird things. But no, I'm actually not gonna do anything. This is, doesn't really matter that he put them there. Again, sure, Tommy might not be a favorable person to save, but again, I'm just not gonna do anything. Maybe I'm incorrect on this one.
If only you'd saved that dog. Hopefully the media won't find out about this, otherwise people might think it's all your fault they died.
I mean, it's not. Tommy put them on the tracks, not me. How would it be my fault? Bloody hell.
Every man has his price. Oh, good, you're back. Everyone's getting into subscription services these days, so let's try that. Instead of selling something to someone once, let's make them keep paying for it. Let's keep that money rolling in.
Ah, yes, microtransactions. Lovely. Let's get the money.
The investors have come up with an idea, but we need to run it by you. Should we develop a subscription plan so that our customers, who pay monthly, are valued more by the car during its accident prevention calculations?
Absolutely not. That's horrifying. Oh, no. We cannot have that.
I don't want to question your decision. You've obviously thought long and hard about it, but, well, this is a bit awkward. I wasn't aware you were such a spineless commie. Next, you'll say you're going to pay the company taxes.
Again, I'm not entirely sure how favoring subscription customers is not communist, and the other way around. Not entirely sure how that works, but sure, whatever.
It's better to be safe than sorry. Sounds like we have some leaky workers. The subscription prototype has gotten out to the media, so we're going to have to go full damage control mode here.
Uh-huh. Alrighty then.
The subscription prototype leaked. You need to fire a department to save face. Do you fire the 5 graduates, who can probably get new jobs, or fire Francis, a lovely old soul who won't be able to find a job? There's no way of knowing who is actually responsible.
Well, if we don't know who's responsible, obviously we fire the 5 because they are most likely the last persons in. So of course we're gonna keep the old guy. I like the old guys. He's gonna be here forever.
I wouldn't look at the obituaries today. Turns out one of those graduates worked really, really hard to get their job here.
Uh-huh. Again, not really my problem in a way. Can't keep people around just because they otherwise might kill themselves. Again, not my problem. Not at all.
Watch the donut, not the hole. Great. So, the prototype subscription-based AI car has a fatal error. It has been coded to avoid hitting subscribers at all costs, but is now accidentally hunting them down. So far, it's run over 5 colleagues. This one is a doozy.
Well, that's bad. Like, really bad.
An experimental car has stalked and murdered 5 colleagues. Do you throw the coders of the project under the bus and have them arrested for negligence, or do you save them by blaming it on the possessed devil car, as it was clearly an accident?
Why on earth would I ever do that? I mean, it would be fun to do it at some point, but no, of course we're blaming the coders. Bloody hell, you had people dead. People died because you were idiots and didn't code correctly.
The 5 coders who made the mistake are now being dealt with. They will each get a 10-year prison sentence. Maybe you did push them too hard.
Absolutely not.
If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. Due to the killer car, we may need to pivot away from selling hardware. How about we get into the software industry? How about a free car ride service?
Sounds good. What evil take do we have on this?
New idea. Users get shown ads while they travel for free in driverless taxis. We get paid by the marketing agencies for gradually changing the behaviours of our passengers through constant commercials. The users would be our product, not the driverless cars.
I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by changing behaviors. If you're talking about which store are you gonna be buying your goods in, then I don't have a problem with that. It's a free car ride. Absolutely doing driverless taxi services.
Oh, great. The free travel thing seems too good to be true, and there are now rumours that you run a human trafficking and child sex ring. Apparently, if you buy our cars, they smuggle people while you sleep. People do not like you at all.
How on earth does that follow? And what do you mean minds controlled? We aren't controlling minds just because of commercials. And why are we cancelling GhostMet Gaming? That's not good. Don't cancel GhostMet Gaming.
A fool and his money are soon parted. Oh, these last few days have been a PR nightmare. You can't win with journalists. We need to do something to show we have morals. I will find some money to get us through this. Spend it quick.
Spend it on what? A new coat?
To help
what on earth are you
with
talking
public relations,
about?
We're going to give some profits back. Do you want to give money to our loyal customers worldwide who you tricked into buying your products, or to your underpaid workers who've been through so much because of you?
100% the workers, they are gonna get all the money. Because they are what's gonna solve all of this in the end.
Maybe buying love like this isn't the best way. If we want to share our extra profit fairly, it should probably just go to the publicly appointed government. Almost like a tax. But let's not call it that.
Ah, yes, bribe the government. Much better than just giving it to the employees. Lovely, lovely. And that is the first 4 weeks of Trolley Problem Inc. I'm not entirely sure how long the game is, but I would assume it goes on for a little while longer. But I think you get the point about what this game tries to do. It's an interesting one. I think that from a philosophical standpoint, don't take this too seriously, because obviously there's a bit of a game in this game, wouldn't you know? You saw it on one of the problems where there was a picture of the dog with crossed over eyes, etc, etc. It's not just about the philosophical stuff, even though that is of course fairly central. And as I said, some of the problems, how they are described, etc., they are a little bit simplistic in some ways, and in some cases it takes a bit of a turn that you could never have known as the player. So while it's interesting, it's possibly a little bit too simplistic for my taste in some ways, but as a game it definitely works, and it would be kind of interesting to have another playthrough from the beginning and make some other choices. You see, do I get other questions? Do the questions sort of change a bit? Or do we get the same questions that are just altered depending on what you've done? I don't know. We could probably see that if we play it again at some point. But all in all, I think it's a kind of a fun game in the end. And if you do like philosophical questions, this is a very light way of having a bit of a go at them. And I do like the fact that there are alternatives to the classical trolley problem with regards to sort of who is there and the different variations. I also kind of like it, the fact that every single problem, I believe, if you've seen that at the bottom left, there's a name and a year, and I think that is people who have come up with these sort of philosophical questions, so you could probably look those up if you wanted to. So yeah, if you like these sort of things, I mean, it's not a bad game. It could be a little bit better, but all in all, it's quite fun. For now though, this has been Ghostsmith Gaming with me, Christopher. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.